Забыли, типа, да? Не было.
Вообще, вот я не знаю, как вы там смотрели группы, вот на моей памяти, в моей группе Инвокер вообще не выигрывал. Вот он прям все игры проиграл. Я не знаю, как у вас в группах было. Насколько часто вы брали?
У меня часто брали, и, по-моему, там игры 2 точно выиграл Инвокер у меня. Но там слабые команды были, там против SMG брали Инвокера. И просто...
С этих слов ты прям в сердечко Пашу залетаешь.
Overall, it's super strong.
Yeah, I wonder what they're going to go here. I mean, you could consider going something like maybe an Enchantress to be able to counter this. Ollie plays that pretty well as well. You could consider maybe a Dark Willow. You could consider a Rubik as a possibility, but they're just going to go Bristleback instead. You know what? If it gets let through, why not go down that sort of route? And it really did feel like Jabs with that Wraith King probably had the lowest impact of the previous game. You can't do too much as a Wraith King in the off lane if you don't get off to an amazing start, and then going Radiance Midas, basically trying to act as a position 1. We could see there with the kill score 3, 7, and 0. It wasn't what you were expecting to see from him, but I love seeing him on a few more of these active style heroes where they really started to get the W's on the board. It was when he was playing the Bristle, the Dawn, like these sorts of heroes that are able to really just be on the front foot.
Really intrigued on how they look to protect the Bristleback with only one of these bands. So I really would like an AA band out. AA Primal Beast sounds very scary with the potential of just getting kills across the map and guaranteeing the, of course, ultimate. I mean, already you have this kind of half built-in break with the Primal Beast where eventually you will be able to go down that Scepter route. So let's see how else they're looking to try and deal with the offlane Bristle, because so far Savage hasn't played it.
And I'd be expecting as well Gaimin Gladiators to be hoping that Necro ends up making its way through, right? Percent damage is feeling really good for them right now. Of course, they don't want to do it too early into the draft, because if you just get, you know, Spirit Vessel and Nullifier, then it becomes a whole lot more challenging. But if they don't pick up a Nullifier builder, then you're going to be feeling very happy about being able to secure it for themselves. And they're actually going to be the ones to get rid of the Shadow Demon. Has one of the worst win rates so far in the tournament, despite a lot of picks. Granted, they were by, you know, some of the teams that have already been knocked out, most of them. But against the Primal Beast, it really does prevent a lot of that consistent charging in, which Ace loves to do. So they're willing to forego it in their draft, despite it being a hero that both Celery and Tofu have super high potential to play. And Muerta's still in, man.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of options still available here. So you only got one.
Anything that could force movement is always going to be a good thing, right? Because that's the thing that you want against the Bristleback. You want break and you want predictability. And I feel like predictability is exactly what you get with someone like the Muerta, right? We even saw, you know, just lay down the calling. What are you supposed to do? You know, you can't cast your spells if you're constantly having to run through the calling spirits.
Hawkman. Obviously felt like the matchup prior a little bit messy for Makoto, so he will go back for his ever so comfort Invoker. See how Quinn wants to try and play into it. Now the Conquer previously was banned out to protect the Invoker, which was the first phase from Talon, so this is available if you want to consider it on gaming. Could be, I don't know, maybe have the same heroes with Primal and Conquer, like they do very similar things, but it is your like traditional counter, or at least good matchup versus Invoker.
I mean, Quinn could potentially TA here as well, right? Like up against the... Oh, okay. Well, no, they can't. But it would have been pretty good against the Invoker as well as the Bristleback. What else could he be considering? I mean, I know historically Quinn really hasn't rated the Sniper, but he picked it up earlier in this tournament and looked pretty decent on it as well. It was a stomp when they were able to secure that for the team. So maybe that's something that he's considering right now, just something that's able to stay as far away as possible from that Bristleback. You know, you've already got a tanky frontliner in the Primal Beast to be able to play around with.
You brought up before about the Necro potential later in the draft. I do wonder, like, if the Invoker is a bit of a deterrent, just because of, you know, the capability to get rid of the Ghost Shroud. So maybe that's something you're considering on Talon. And Gladiators.
Honestly, why are you picking Pango in 2023? Honestly, like, pick a real hero.
What are you trying to say? It's just what are you trying to say? And it's just
I'm saying if win rate is horrible, and if you pick Pango in pubs, no. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. They've also got a great hero to be able to pair together with it, right? In the Keeper of the Light, both for the lane. You know, the Primal Beast is going to love that Chakra Magic for the cooldown reduction, as well as the Quinn Pango once the lanes start to break down. So I like this combination. One of the positive sides, I think it was Gods that mentioned it on the panel, is that now you actually do have an Alacrity someone that wants alacrity in the bristleback, right? Like he just needs that little bit of extra movement speed to be able to chase people down. Of course, the quills are going to be what's doing the majority of the work for you. But the downside is you can get away with like 33 and collapse build of going for just the 1 point in the bristleback passive so that it procs more often. But I think they've got a lot of damage, so I don't know if you can actually afford to do that, right? Like you're going to need to really relish this window that you're going to have up until the Primal Beast has the Aghanim Scepter and really be that frontliner for your team.
Dude, where's all their reserve time gone? They are still second phase, only 2 picks, down to 7 seconds for Talon. So using a lot of time early on to be able to work out what they want to go for. They will actually pick up the Ancient Apparition. So of course, I mean, it'll be very nice versus the Primal Beast. Let's see. I cannot go something like a Chaos Knight versus Primal and Pango, which is definitely one of the better lanings. It's banned actually anyway, so never mind. So
10 seconds.
Do you feel like it's even like you need a stun for Cold Feet? Because I know that used to be the big thing in the past.
Left.
Could just be like slows being enough, so considering maybe a life stealer or something like that. No, they're just going to go back for the Q Tusk for now. But again, it's a double melee, and this is something that Gaimin haven't revealed their safe lane at all. So they could basically just pick whatever heroes that they want to be able to abuse this lane. Whether like maybe they go and ench themselves just to be able to have that extra little bit of survivability, to be able to harass from afar. We know how great Celery is at the Enchantress, probably one of his best heroes. So I really wouldn't hate seeing him pick something like that up. Warlock, Jakiro, they're great options.
Are you ever considering
that's what they're going to go?
Are you ever considering it like a saving support? Because at the moment, you're telling AA for the entire time has always been like stun into Ice Blast, and you have someone to disrupt that, it can kind of minimize his impact.
Maybe just someone that builds 4 stuff as well, right? Like, well, what stuns do they actually have? And they're actually going to pick the PA now. All right, sure. Duracio's had pretty good success over the years on this hero, and it's another break against the Bristleback. Also, you know, up against an AA, you could 2-shot the AA unless you get really lucky with some of those neutral item drops. So we're going to be looking out for Glimmer Capes, no, Gossamer Capes once again, just to be able to provide a little bit of a reprieve there.
I mean, again, brought up before, but I don't think you can be looking at the Naga because of the Primal Base Pango to deal with the illusions. TK is not a potential. Definitely limits some of the heroes that Savage is going to be able to play in this matchup.
To me, it really does just feel like an Enchantress is what they're wanting here, right? Like something that you've got a PA so that you can, if the carry gets into a bad spot, you can always just Phantom Strike back to safety if you get blocked off by Ice Shards. And again, you're up against 2 melee, so someone that's relatively survivable. And Shakira is pretty survivable as well, right? Really high stats that you get across levels. You know, dual breath against 2 melee heroes always going to feel really good. Mentioned it before. And they've got a decent amount of control as well, so that macro pie would have given them a lot of value. Even a little bit of tower push as well.
What do you think about the Venge as well now with PA? We've seen previously like Venge PA. Celery's played it twice. So.
Lucky shot.
Yep.
Also more potential predictability with the Bristleback, right? Swap him into the middle, get a Pulverize off onto him, and yeah, gives him a lot of trouble. That's why they ban it out. Good call.
So the only other hero Celery's currently played is the Warlock.
Yep. Warlock Edge. They're my 2 options. So let's have a little think for Talon, what they're considering. So when you think about what's going to have a decent enough time against the PA, excuse me, are they going to consider something like a Sven? You know, like something that provides a little bit of armor for the team, something that can buy a Blink Dagger and potentially blow up the Pango before the roll starts, Coddle before he's able to get back to safety, as well as, again, you've got Alacrity to be able to provide. So they go ahead and ban it out. See, we're both calling things, man. We're getting it.
I'll say that hero is kind of doo-doo at the moment, though. 39% win rate might even be lower after that previous game loss as well.
Yeah, but Pango's lower as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is indeed still getting picked.
Okay, I forgot about this hero altogether. And you talked about wanting that saving support as well. The grab ally is still going to be a factor up against the Ice Blast if Celery is on point with his positioning. Yeah, this is actually a fantastic dying pick. We just haven't really seen
10
it.
seconds.
Now you need a Tombstone hitter too. Do you go Life Stealer? But then the carry matchup is horrible.
I don't know if you can Terrorblade as well. Primal matchup can go back and forth with Pango. Let's see. It's of course a classic. We got whoa. I mean, this is Rupture, Pango, Primal. I mean, this is a big thing. Also, Phantom Assassin needs to be super mobile, but we have not seen a lot of Bloodseeker. In fact, let me find out how many games. One? Okay.
One, and it was a loss that had been played. And I'm honestly very surprised. You know, with all of these beefy boys coming to the front, I was expecting, you know, the Aghanim Scepter as well as the Aghanim Shard to really give a ton of value. You know, is it 2% still, or is it slightly less? The steal that you get from every hit, I think it's like 1.8 maybe, or something like that. But effectively, I feel like the reason that it hasn't been picked up too much is that a lot of these heroes just hit their timings a little bit earlier than what a Bloodseeker can respond to, right? Like, you only really become effective against the beefy boys once you get Phase Boots, Maelstrom, BKB, and then you can look to go for it, because you just can't fight at all without the BKB. At least now, prior to that point, you've got answers to the likes of the Pangolier, the Primal, and the Phantom Assassin. It literally Rupture counters all three of these heroes. It's just, can you get to that point where you truly do feel effective? And again, this is Savage's 10th game and his 10th unique hero. So I'm loving seeing the versatility come through. Makoto doesn't seem too happy about having to play the Invoker again, but Jabs is just full on focus.
Really intrigued to see how this Bloodseeker lane is actually going to be able to go, because I know there was a big nerf with...
Look at these jump cuts.
We can see
all the boys.
Piccolo.
The reformed man himself.
We're all...
PMA only, Lockie.
Of course. The only choice is PMA.
Mm-hmm.
Intrigued to see how this Bloodseeker lane is going to go, right? With some of the changes we saw in the past. I mean, that was a big reason. You know, we've seen Bloodseeker be super strong in the lane, just your blood right capability with the support. It's a lot of damage, ridiculous amount, even just level 1. But I know the Thirst, like, lifesteal was reduced pretty heavily, and this is a lane with Primal Beast and Coddle. They could do a lot of nuke potential early on, so I think that's going to be a pretty volatile lane.
And you're playing with an AA as well, right? So it's not even like you've got that set up for the blood right to make the lane a little bit easier for yourself. Kind of similar thing with the AA, you don't have a core to be able to set yourself up for the cold feed as well. So I wonder if Ollie's skill build is going to be a little bit different here for the lane. Obviously, the great equalizer of everything, the blood grenade, is going to help them out a little bit. You know, the Ice Vortex plus the blood grenade plus the blood right, that's a lot of blood right there, is going to give them a little bit of a hand. And you never know. Anytime I see a Tusk, there's always the potential for that early try lane to be able to possibly get that first blood. And Q's the one leading the charge now into Gaimin Gladiators territory.
That's a different read from Dire. Going to go down to the south side instead, and Talon looking to play very aggressive into the jungle. So we won't have, I mean, last time we didn't have a first blood. We're very close to it though, but either side will get themselves set up. How do we feel about this draft as a whole? Do we feel like GG have the potential to be able to find this 2-0, book the ticket into the upper bracket, or can Talon send us to our first game 3 of the day?
I was really preferring Gaimin Gladiators draft up until that Bloodseeker. So like the 23 Savage, if they're going to win this game, it's completely on him. So if he's able to get enough space made for him so that he can get into that trio of items that I was talking about, Phase Boots, Maelstrom, BKB, that's not enough. He needs the Aghanim Shard on top of that, then into the Aghanim Scepter. And then we'll see what they're capable of doing. I'm just a little worried about, you know, having to contend against the likes of this break coming through from the Primal, the break coming through from the PA, and the really strong lanes that you've got in both of the side lanes.
Q in trouble? Hopefully should be able to get that blinding light push back. They're going to have a lot of slows as well. Jabs is actually coming back in, but I don't know if there's much that Talon can do to get Q out of danger. They might be able to get a return kill. Quill's also taking a lot of damage, and the Quills are starting to stack up. Celery is also in some danger.
They gonna get away? Oh, they didn't commit onto one of them. They just got Delta split on.
Who got the first ball? Was Celery?
Yeah. Same as last game. So both position 5s, love and life, being able to come into it with this one. And we'll talk about the potential for the tri lanes. I don't think Toku's going to completely commit. He does end up TPing on out. This is definitely a magic wand lane, if I've ever seen one on the top side. Yeah, Undying.
Bottom lane, Ollie. I don't know, going down, please, just that upper right click far out. His positioning is going to be really, really important in this lane.
And he just TP'd there, man. Okay. So now he doesn't have that for the next 45 seconds. So Savage is here on his own. He's going to need to manipulate this lane solo to be able to Make sure that he's able to get a lot of these easy last hits for starters. They weren't able to block off the small camp, so he's able to clear this quickly enough. Might be able to get the pull, but it's the worst possible one that he could have hoped for, the Kobold camp. Double silence, nicely done.
How do we feel about this top lane real quick? Because the Undying is a hero that we've seen fallen off pretty heavily with some of the nerfs. The Decay 13-second cooldown, which was a big one. It is, of course, against that strength hero being Jabs. They've got the level 2 and they're ready to go, but instant TP up.
Yeah.
Q, oh, he's got some stick charges, so he's going to be okay as well. He's still got the zombies to prove to be a bit of an issue, but it's only a little bit of chip damage. But the Tombstone use, they're still putting a lot of pressure on with this extra level.
Why not? You know, you want to take advantage of every single opportunity that you can. There's that early point into the bristleback. And I really feel like Jabs, does he need to just be survivable or does he need to kill people? That's the thing that I'm considering early on, right? You know that Savage is going to be able to do the killing if it gets late enough, so maybe you do just go into the classic build and you do max out the bristle.
Speaking of Savage, he's in some danger. So if he actually doesn't look for the blinding light, it's going to use it to push him away instead.
No blood for you. Already been given a couple of tangos over by Ollie. Realizing that he might need to move a little bit further away. He needs to just focus on a little bit more attention onto Tofu. And this is what I was talking about in terms of like the skill build, right? If you do have someone with a stun or with a lot more magic damage, maybe you do go the Ice Vortex or the Cold Feet. But I really feel like we might see a few more points of the Chilling Touch from Ollie in this particular lane, just because there really is no setup at all, considering they've used the Blood Grenade and they have no other ways to be able to slow them enough.
It's better this way.
Fight. Actually, no fight. Looks like Talon's going to be able to get both of the Lotuses. Side lanes. Meanwhile, of course, we're going to have a lot of action from top and bottom. We will take a look at how mid's going at the moment with Makoto and Quinn. I'll hold that because bottom action continues. Never mind. Savage going to stand strong. Lotus. They feed the Lotus, and if required, he's got a Fairy Fire as well. Tofu tries the body block, but now he's going to be in trouble too. Blinding Light pushed away. It won't do anything. Savage easily able to chase him down. Now top lane as well. Q's got the snowball to close the distance. Doesn't drag in Jabs. Is trying to deal with the
neutral creep.
What a barrage here. Well done.
Means maybe slightly longer on the deck than we would have previously liked, and might allow Talon to be able to get this stacked pull of the hard camp over to the left-hand side. So it's not like the lane is going to get any easier, but at least he won't lose too much farm from this existing creep wave as Savage getting dived once again. There's action all across the map. It's what Talon are really wanting, right? Because this is going to allow the Bloodseeker to just get so much more active with that thirst, with the bonus movement speed.
And again, we have two mid laners.
Base boots coming out too.
Makoto and Quinn can be very active. Does look like Makoto 25-5 compared to the 20-2. So both sides having a pretty good start as well early on.
Gonna need even more tangos on this bottom side. Tofu's been doing a really good job of just making sure that Savage is getting harassed with high frequency. What really acting as a roaming ward is Ollie, just making sure to see where exactly Ace is. Just dodging out there. Look at this. Ace is no cares. Ollie's like, kill me instead. I'm the one that you want, but it is not. It is 23 Savage that it is priority number one. Even moving down towards the bottom side is Tofu getting hit a little bit by some of these creeps. You'd hate to get hit by that Purge from the Sated Banisher. Might get a D-ward off. Never mind, it's denied.
Oh my god, surely not. Alright.
We just wanted to be part of it too, you know? There's a bit of a quiet start. They didn't even do Roche last game, did they? Like, you know what? I'm part of this series too. They did it once. Nagi got it.
Alright, well, nice timing for Roche to help out Tofu with getting denied. We'll see where he's going to look to try and TP back to if he wants to refill Quinn's bottle. Wants to go down to that bottom lane. Looks like it will be the play to mid. Might even stick around as well. Drop a ward, try and secure this next power room. We already see Q starting to make his way over.
Placing that nice high ground vision as Tofu might potentially reveal that he has the potential to drop down a nice blinding light, pushing Ollie back up onto the high ground and just placing that fresh ward as well.
Q should be fine to be able to get the snowball off to dodge the rolling thunder. They might even turn over to the right side. Tofu is in some trouble. Ollie and Makoto hand in hand should be able to bring down the support on Gladiators. There will be a response though. Pretty good shards, Quinn, nonetheless. Swashbuckle at the ready. He's going to be able to guarantee the power rune is an illusion, which is quite nice. First Invoker early on as well.
For sure. This means a little bit less potential for these supports to have to rotate towards the mid lane. Celery just ended up walking down here. He didn't use the TP for that purpose, and what you really want to do is be trying to stick into one of these side lanes as much as possible. Just keep the pressure moving up there. Looks like you might even be starting to build up a few stacks for both, well, honestly, all three cores on Gaimin Gladiators are great stack takers.
Archer's in some trouble. These cores up to 4 now, especially with Q here. He's got a clear wave coming shortly. You see Jabs is angling to the right side to be able to follow in pursuit. And the shards locks him into place. And this is going to be a catapult wave as well. So this damp tower will take a lot of damage off the back of that kill from Talon.
Really does feel like a much more jab style if you're a dozen at the bristleback. You're able to be tanky by the Vanguard, be up in their face, and use your ability to outskill people. There's not too much outskilling that goes on with a Wraith King.
That dude's just a brute. Shen strong, maybe base his spells. Are they going to be able to kill him a second time? Ratio straight back into the lane. You're going to need some mass TPs out of Gladiators. They will come through the form of Ace along with Celery.
I mean, these are big TPs right now. Savage has this time to be able to play solo. Ollie able to dodge out that onslaught. Is he going to get away? Surely not.
Oh, all right. Savage came through the portal.
This is done.
Rupture at the ready as well. Doesn't find the vision on Duracho. Forced to use it on Ace now, though. They'll try and kill the tower to stop the rotations, but the corridor's here as well. So another big kill that Talon's going to be able to pick up, really minimizing how much Duracho can get out early on. Shots from Q. Celery just slips out.
But not for long.
It's just the little things that Gaimin do so well, though, right? Like the deny to the neutral camp, the rotations at the very last second to make sure that Duracho doesn't die that additional time. They get the deny on the tower. They even force a few rotations from Talon, right? I'm sure Savage would have loved to just be sitting back, farming unopposed because he knew that Ace had made that movement up towards the top side. So the fact that they make the movement and it's not even him that gets the kill, it's Makoto, I'm sure he's going to be a tiny bit salty about that.
It is good to see him being active, though, nonetheless. I mean, Rupture can almost always guarantee a kill, and we're going to see it not even used here for Tofu. Proto is able to get himself closer towards the vessel. Gladiators are trying to strike back, though. It's Quinn and Celery together. You do have Ace reasonably close by as well. That double damage rune is going to shred them apart. The shards makes it a little bit awkward, but Savage has already tanked up way too much damage, and Quinn's already looking for the +1 kill. They won't be able to chase down Q. They will get a nice little Cory snipe.
There is any +1 about it all. We had already bought the Javelin on Savage, so didn't end up losing too much gold on that kill attempt. And again, you know there's no Rolling Thunder you have to consider. It's again just what Quinn does when he's got these runes protected. It's a hallmark of any sort of Quinn team is that the supports are going to provide the assistance there because they know that the man is capable of providing that impact. But talk about impact, that Diffusal Blade only about 400 gold away.
So Ace should be able to stop the trample away. Celery's actually going to drop the Tombstone on the high ground, but it's going to do nothing here. So nice little kill for Talon. Let's see where Makoto wants to go next. He's really been on the mark with his rotations, 3-0 and 2. A much different performance we're seeing out of him. And instantly looking at mid lane, he can combine with jabs. Also a great timing as well out of the power. He's going to run straight into him. They want to go for Tofu, which is the easier kill. Finding Libel and they stall this one out. Quinn will try and do what he really can. Ace is even going to TP in. Rolling Thunder's still on cooldown for 15 seconds. That's a perfect tornado. Makoto's Invoker this game is really on point out. Quinn's in some danger. They will have the third one to be able to stop the Pulverites, but it's a little bit too late though. And now Celery's going to look to enter with a Flesh Skull, and Makoto in some trouble, but the shards will do nothing as Gladiators. A big couple of kills to be able to slow down this momentum that the Invoker's been starting to build.
Yeah, and they could have potentially gone for a bit more of a slow play, right? They had this 10-minute siege creep there. If they just, didn't go overly deep and dive, maybe you could end up taking out another tower and start really invading into the space that Duracho is still going to need to be able to get into this Battle Fury and then the items beyond.
It's having some me time, though. It's a pretty decent position in regards to the net worth, and See, I wonder what the build is going to be from Savage. I mean, he's got this Mjolnir queued up, of course, with the procs, able to go through the evasion. Wonder what else you're looking to consider. I know you brought up the Scepter. When does he want to go Shard as well? There's going to be any, like, transition away from the, the classic BKB and all some of the other items.
So, Bloodseeker is very much linear with the way that you need to play it these days. There's a reason it's only been picked once so far this tournament. It's just a tiny bit slow, and this is what I was talking about as well, right? Jabs has just the 1 point in the Bristleback passive, so again, he's going for this higher damage potential, but I'm a little worried because we saw how quickly he melted there underneath the tower. It's not like they're lacking in damage on Gaimin Gladiators, especially with the start that Quinn's had.
But he's also not incredibly fat, and this stack is really going to help out from Jabs. The hard camp, got an Ancient, I think they're both triple. And we can really see the Bristleback, though, once you get this Scepter Bloodstone. It's going to be a big thing if you can get it before the break, though, on Dial.
That's always the big thing. You can see there's nowhere close to a break being purchased up on Gaimin Gladiator's side. Wanting a Blade Mail first on Ace, I would assume probably the Heart before that, but yeah, I could consider him just going straight into the Aghanim Scepter on Ace as well. But yeah, for PA, it's going to be quite some time until she considers going for that Aghanim Shard for herself.
Very impressive performance out of Quinn so far to start this game. 2-1-3, top net worth. Gonna look to try and smoke off the back of the very early diffuse or corrosion, and of course, Tofu can always amplify him with the chakra. So let's see how Talon are going to be able to respond to this. Both sides scans are off the mark.
Identical times though, so both ones clearly know that something is up. Ollie right now on side Q, just acting as that little bit of a distraction. Probably don't want to be giving up both of them, right? We know the level of impact that this Ice Blast is going to be able to provide. They are lacking a little bit of that lockdown if Makoto isn't around, so he's just hanging around in this mid lane, wants to get into that Midas so that he doesn't fall too far behind Quinn.
They won out.
Yeah, they won out completely.
Bottom tower needs a hand.
Feels like Quinn's going to get a lot more of his net worth off of kills, right? Obviously, taking neutral creeps is a lot faster ever since they gave mana to basically every single neutral creep with this Diffusal Blade. But look at this, the support's just taking away a little bit of the Duraccio farm as well.
It was still going uncontested, man, and his net worth is now just taking over the position of Makoto. We have not seen them hunt him down so far. I mean, Savage has also been fine, 3-1-2. He's got his farming Celerin in the Maelstrom. But Celery's got a great read on this, that they're hunting Duraccio. He's going to maybe act as a smoke block, or if they jump in next to the T2 tower, could keep him alive long enough for some extra reinforcements.
Somehow don't see each other until the very last second, and there we go. They're eventually going to end up backing off as okay. Yeah, he ends up TPing away up on that high ground. The courier ended up giving himself away a little bit. Not the worst. It's not like Gloves of Haste really would have changed all that much for the start. And he's already got that Midas starting to get queued up as well. Even picking up the Wisdom Rune for himself.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Very similar to game one though, right? Where it was a pretty action-packed like first 10 minutes and then the game starts to slow down. So do you feel like there is a side that is enjoying the status quo more than the other currently?
I'd say both, honestly. Like, a lot of the plays that have been happening from Gaimin Gladiators have been this trio of Pango, Coddle, and the Undying, just because they've got the farm that they really need. Again, supports don't need that much. You've got the Urn available on the Coddle. Quinn, we've mentioned time and time again about how much farm he was able to get early on into the piece. He was going for a Satanic.
Oh, wow.
And it's really just all about making space for the PA, enough said, but also the other break potential coming through from Ace.
Why is he going Satanic versus AA? I'm very intrigued. Sure, the spell is quite nice, but this is a very interesting choice from Quinn. We'll see how it's going to work out.
Maybe just thinking that he's not the one that's going to be the main target for the AI Blast. So
Ace charges actually through Talon. But the vision though, dude, again, back-to-back times that they've tried to bring down Ace bottom lane. This time they wanted to set up with Makoto, but he gets out.
So little decisions like going the Faded Brooch, right? Obviously with a Primal, the Trample gives you a lot of value, but even just there, we saw Windlace, Phase Boots, Faded Brooch. It's enough to be able to get him away. And the fact that it was nighttime as well, right? The movement speed buff that you get.
Of course, the Scepter completed for Jabs, and Ag Shard is already queued up next here for the Bristleback.
Probably that's the time that Talon really want to be making something happen, right? Level 12, Aghanim Shard on the Bristle. Vanguard should be enough to be able to provide a little bit of safety. Of course, you've got the Tusk for that extra layer of protection as well. They'll scout out the fact that Q has just freshly picked up a Blink Dagger too, so that might impact the way that people are positioning on lanes. They know that they've got a lot of burst potential with this Spirit Vessel and Ice Blast available.
A nice go from they secured the power rune for Quinn. Arcane once again potentially baiting Ace. 2k health they have to go through, but Talon, they're making their own play, sweeping through mid, potentially looking to try and connect with their strongest hero at the moment with the Bristleback.
Didn't seem like they saw. Well, now they'll definitely see things now. Ice Vortex being put up onto the high ground. They had Undying's courier up there, so instantly sees the fact that you've got an AA hanging around, and the only reason an AA is going that far forward is if they're looking to set up some sort of smoke, but Duracio once again just dodges them out barely.
Dude, I was really seeing the praises early game of Makoto, who's still 3-1-3. Like KDA wise, he's looking incredible, but after that one death, his net worth has completely fallen off a cliff, and this is going to be an issue as the game goes on. You compare him to Quinn, the net worth disparity, it's really racking up, and this is the fine line, right, with this Spirit Vessel kind of cost works on how much you farm compared to you're going for pickoffs across the map. But at the moment, maybe you need to consider a little bit more farming with you, just at least to get that Midas.
Yeah, and it's not even like it was completely on Duracio as well for that that counter out, right? The combination of wards, the combination of Celery's calls with where exactly they're looking to move. It just feels like Gaimin Gladiators have way too good awareness for the movement from town, and they recognize that the fact that you were just talking about, right? If Makoto's not getting kills, he's not going to scale at the same level as a lot of our cores. It's why I was really putting a lot of emphasis on 223 Savage and the way that he's going to be able to play this game.
Yeah, really good read. Gladiators say, no, I mean, T1 Tower's not being defended. Instant scan and ping from Duracio. But Talon, they've had enough, dude. This kind of cat and mouse, you're missing every smoke and move they've made. They want to try and at least force Gladiators to take a fight by the pit and die. They're not gonna take that at all. They're fine with giving this up. They've got the lineup to continue to be able to stall. You'll get the tier 1 mid. You've got Duracio freely farming with Battle Fury. So looks like they're more than okay with giving the Aegis over to Talon.
Not even wanting to get the deny off onto the mid tier 1. Obviously just pop the Ghost Walk, so doesn't want to waste that, but just waiting to see if there is any hero that ends up showing themselves. We'll pop a quick kill onto Celery.
Might not be quick though.
Boys.
Gladiators are nearby. Like his shot's gonna make it a little bit more messy. Looks like with Jabs coming through along with the Ice Blast, without a doubt they'll get the kill. There might be a Tombstone as well if they want to go for it instead. Or is it tier 1 mid they can consider?
Yeah, I don't think they want to fight as far away from that Tombstone as possible. They know that they've got Tofu as well as Quinn there as backup.
His middle tower looks to be disintegrating.
Savage, alright. Random Rupture, why not? No farm for you for, what is it, 10 seconds? Such an annoying Rupture, what is that? It's like,
this is much more of the style from Talon that I was really wanting to see, though, right? They are playing on the Gaimin Gladiators side of the map. They've hit their timings, they've got the Aegis. Now you've got to make sure something happens before you reach these next big items that Gaimin Gladiators are going for. I mean, Ace has basically got his Aghanim Scepter now, so he can make plays. You've almost got a BKB on Phantom Assassin. She can make plays into a lot of this. So what are you going to be able to make happen? I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with the Mjolnir at this point on Savage. I think you just got to be making the most of your own inbuilt attack speed buffs coming through. And then just look to try and get into that early Aghanim shard so that you can actually look to stand and man fight.
Because Dire Berserk War.
So much.
Yeah. See the Midas, how slow it is. We've got average 1640 so far. Very delayed here from Makoto. We are about to get to that 20 minutes, and very shortly after we got the Wisdom Runes as well. Ladies, they're already ready to try and pick up this Tormentor, so see the importance of the potential shard, whoever it's going to be, whether it's Tofu or
Love grab ally.
Celery
doesn't die.
He will. Surely, come on. Ollie, you as good as Fly being able to predict?
My bingo is Tormentor kill.
Well, one of them's trying to predict. That's Sunstrike. I mean, it wasn't that close to be honest, but it was a cool read.
Close-ish.
I think, where did he Ice Blast?
No, I didn't see.
Did you see that clip? No? It was pretty cool where Fly predicted the Tormentor was getting taken and Ice Blast and got a kill on a support and the Wraith King's reincarnation. I was impressed. It's alright though, never mind. Okay. Top lane, Savage. Has has to pop the BKB. It's going to be a long enough duration to TP out. Yes, it will. That is your 9-second duration, though.
Yelna completed as well. So he's got, again, more of a farming accelerant. This is it though, right? I really want to see Talon make something out of this first Aegis. You cannot wait for too long. You know, you've got the BKB now on the PA. You've got the level 15, so that extra cast range that you're going to be able to find the backlines and stay way far back. Let the Pango and the Primal Beast be the ones that start off a lot of these fights for you. Even just the Aghanim Shard coming through from Quinn, right? It's going to allow him to just be able to position himself to not worry about the Rupture quite as much, right? We mentioned before that it's an amazing Bloodseeker game for what the Rupture can do to all three of their cores, but if you can minimize that as much as possible through, you know, the roll-up, through the Satanic, being able to heal up a lot of that damage that's being done, and take away, more importantly, the attention from Dyrachyo, the core that you're really worried about, that's the big factor.
When was the last time we had a kill? Far out. Makoto going to be rewarded off the back of his move. The help of the Ice Blast. That is a much needed kill. It's been a very slow game like we saw last time around this time. So Aegis for another 50 seconds. Seems like they're kind of happy with at least all the farm they've been able to get. I guess we go back to the question I asked last game. Like, Talon late game compared to Gladiators, is there a side you're more comfortable with going to the later stages?
It really depends on what the itemization is going to be, right? If we eventually start to see a bunch of Lincolns getting picked up, then I'm really feeling not too great about Talon's chances, because that's going to nullify the effectiveness of this Rupture. Even if Savage gets into that level 25 Talon, right, to get an additional charge, it's just not going to be enough. And we know they've got the burst potential. I mean, you're playing with a PA, for God's sake.
Far out. PA top net worth as well. That has gone uncontested for quite some time. Deso almost completed after the BKB. Talon are going to look to smoke to try and connect him. Dyrachyo does kind of reveal himself in the lane.
Always behind him, though. They know the Aegis is about to expire. They know that if they ever were going to make a play during it, this is the time. But once again, Talon, first Aegis, pretty ineffective. Granted, they still have a few of their own items to be able to pick up, so maybe they're just putting a lot of faith into their own scaling potential.
What do we feel like is kind of going wrong with Talon with all of their attempts not working? Is it just the props really need to be given to die with their read of the map and whenever Talon's moving? Or is it like, you know, maybe the ward placements from Talon, not as much emphasis on shoving out side lanes? Like, what do we feel like it is?
How can you do it as a Tuscan and AA? That's the thing. Even the Invoker, right? This isn't an Exort Invoker where you can, you know, use the Forge Spirits consistently just to be those ones shoving out the lane. He's trying to do it whenever possible. 4 points Quas, 4 points Exort, so he's going to have 2 Forge Spirits, but it just feels like Gaimin Gladiators have the superior draft for that exact purpose that you're talking about. Love to see someone pick up this Lotus pool. That'd be a greater Lotus.
Just watching 24 minutes in. 5 heroes just huddling together now. We have a Midas on queue. Like, are we really in this position again where we have a position 4 going on Midas? Apparently this is the status of this game.
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of that, to be honest. I was really hoping for him to get into an Aghanim Scepter just because you've got the Bloodseeker combination, right? You've got the ability to isolate. You've got something else to be able to set up for things like the Ice Blast to completely isolate someone away.
Oh no, man.
Solo.
They don't want to take the Bay. Maybe they think there's more. They'll drop the ward. There's a sentry in range. Jab should know.
Sees it.
Activates the BKB, tries to turn, but once AC's going to be in with the break, might be a little bit easier about killing the Blister back. They're hesitant though. Gaimin don't want to commit heavily, and now with the reactions out of Talon for the grab ally, will keep him alive momentarily, but it's not going to matter. Stunned as he re-enters the living. He won't be there for too long. They want to go back in though. Savage is committed with the BKB. He's in a lot of trouble as Quinn's going to be able to target him down for the moment. Has more than enough force to be able to bounce back off the Rupture, proving to be annoying, but it will not matter in the end. And now Q can still jump over the top. Jabs is starting to stack up his damage. His Bristleback has gone uncontested. And where is Duraccio? Just not involved throughout that team fight, was having a bit of a battle over on the left side. I think he killed Oli, but maybe with him there we see a different fight, but in the end, Talon, they're able to come out on top.
Yeah, Makoto providing a lot of that control, preventing the PA from having too big of an impact. Still ended up doing the most damage on the Gaimin Gladiators side, but that's the power that you're really looking to see from Jabs, and they put so much priority onto taking out that Primal Beast. They still don't have the break, so you don't have this answer to the Bristleback just yet. He's put a second point into the Bristleback. Keen to see if he puts any further into it or if he's just going to prioritize the stats from here on forward.
First side,
Just like that, Makoto's recovered his net worth.
Tower looks to be disintegrating.
yeah, that he has. Hurricane Pike now completed for Makoto. Importantly, levels as well is looking good. Level 15, mid lane. Gonna be able to get out.
Doesn't have any charges at the moment on the vessel, so doesn't have that easy way to be able to combo together with a cold snap, but they're going to need it, right? Like, you popped both BKBs pretty early on Talon there, and I was a little worried for their long-term potential in that fight, but really just going to show that if you don't have an answer to the Bristleback, all that doesn't really matter.
I want to go back to something the panel mentioned previously in that last game where they highlighted the Midases were a little bit of an awkward timing where they weren't able to play with kind of the strength of the Nagas early, like 3 items. I do wonder, like, if you win these fights, we're not going to feel it as much, but there is some big timings out of, 23 Savage early on, the Bristleback really importantly this hero. So if you can win the next fight and continue to stall, then sure, we're going to say this Midas is great. He's going to get sceptered at a pretty early timing. But if Gladiators win this fight, then get Roche, the map will be difficult to play with. They could Jabs to start.
Yeah, and they've got the break now on the PA as well. She's got basically all the items she could possibly need, even going into that Nullifier next.
Can't lose that ward.
Ghost Scepter's not back.
They're going to jump Q straight onto Tofu. They should be able to blow up the keep of the life, but once again, Sally will keep alive. They found Makoto. Now that's a big target to take out of the equation, but Savage is going to look to enter as well. Duraccio. These crits are raining down, and now Quinn hot in pursuit. Who does he want to jump though? The zombies giving them the information. Talon done a pretty good job to retreat, but the BKBs, they're not available if a further fight does break out, as Quinn will jump over the top of the shards, but they will just sacrifice the life of Q, and there we go. A fight will go the way of Gaimin Gladiators, and eventually they're going to be rewarded with Roshan as well, and this map will now start to shrink as a result.
That's all right. He's got the Midas. He'll be fine. Recovery Midas for the Tusk coming through. But yeah, just like you said, it really does show that if you just lose one fight, if you don't use the net worth that you've built up for that level of effect, look at how much damage. I don't know if you could look to fight this. I mean, an instant Sunstrike maybe when Makoto comes up to see if it actually is the case. No Ice Blast and complete vision as well. Ace is acting as that frontline bodyguard.
Ice Blast is coming through now. It's got a clip or two, but you've got the Age has been instantly taken care of, and now they won't get much value out of the break as well. It's going to be on cooldown for a little bit of time. What's the call on Talon? Makoto's going to be back in. Duraccio jumps to the left side, but the BKB on cooldown. Can he activate the cheese? Gets it off for the last second, but he's still going to be bursted. Falls to 0, and Jabs is left standing in the middle of it all as well with the scepter. This Bristleback is ripping Ace apart. They're going to get out. Gladiators, you need to cut your losses. But Cube jumps over the top of the icon. That's a perfect shard placement. There is no retreat from Dyer. Tofu will be cut down as well as Talon. The numbers disadvantage. It did not matter. What a fight by the pit.
That's crazy. I thought they had no chance, no BKBs, 3v5 sort of situation, but the breaks just weren't there. They were able to land the perfect Ice Blast at the perfect time. Luckily for Gaimin Gladiators, they were still able to secure the Aegis and the Roche kill. It could have gone even worse for them. And we talk about those timings. I mean, Bristleback's about to get even stronger. Level 20 starting to build up a few more of those Quill Sprays, and it was all about that Sunstrike just providing them that level of information that they needed. Value of the Tormentors as well, right? Gets the stun off onto the Undying, means that he might get the Flesh Golem off, but wasn't able to get the grab ally there, both for the Tombstone just in general, but also that saving potential.
And wow. So many little things inside that team fight. Could have gone either way. But overall, Talon now 4,000 net worth lead. We see the power of what this lineup can truly dish out if they have this opportunity to spellcast and freely right-click.
Yeah, Jabs prior to that fight actually had picked up the Greater Healing Lotus as well, so he had that 900 heal coming in clutch, and then was still able to swap in a Vitality booster that he had backpacked at the time, so that ended up making sure he was able to survive through the initial burst, and then, yeah, just turns it around completely.
This God and AA shot. What a buff to the hero.
Yeah.
Like, just slowly over time. Vortex, get rid of that shard. You have an innate now where you're able to push out some of the waves and give this man a stun. That has always been, one of his biggest critiques, where team fighting stuns, you have that. You're also, kind of immobile and slow. That's still the case, but we are going to continue to see what this Ice Blast can do. And that was a big reason in that last fight, the stun onto 3.
That was the reason. Undying being taken out of that fight, honestly, I think it's very different if you're just able to lay down a tombstone, if you're able to wait out a few seconds of that Ice Blast debuff.
Now you got some big talent. Savage, level 20, has that Rupture cast range, importantly. There was another 20 I just saw as well. Bristle got his, PA got his.
And a Nullifier, so they realize how much of a threat Ollie is giving them this game. You might have a Ghost Scepter, which he picked up pretty damn early on, but he is going to be the absolute priority target for them. I'm really wanting to see, when are these Lincolns going to start to come out here from Talon? They don't have the greatest ways to be able to break it from range.
This has been really the first time this series, though, where Talon have been able to get a little bit more of a foothold in this game.
And honestly, this is 23 Savage has got the Ags, and now he's got the Ags shard as well. So this is the first fight that I'm really feeling like Savage has the potential to take it over completely. It's been all jabs up until this point, but now that you've got 2 legitimate ones, that's scary. There's a DD bottom as well. That might be the thing that turns the tide. 6k advantage at the moment for Talon, but I mean, a PA with a DD just completely changes the rulebook.
Without a doubt. Let's see what the call is going to be for them. You want to continue maybe looking to try and deal with some of your waves at the moment. Gladiators, they are not leaving each other's side. I mean, same with Talon as well. The status of this game, how even it is. One fight still, Gladiators could even this one out. And of course, the stakes as well on the line, a potential upper bracket berth here for Gaimin Gladiators.
I don't know where you even go here for Talon, because I feel like they still need a little bit of armor, right? Like the Pango, the PA, they're hitting for big, and it doesn't seem like they want to go towards an AC. I really wouldn't hate a Shiva's Guard just to provide a little bit of that slow, more importantly, the healing reduction. Because when you consider what you're going up against, right? PA with a Phantom Strike, you've got the Satanic on the Pango, you've got the Undying heal, you've got the Coddle heal. It's a lot that you're going to be able to minimize.
Can they look at jabs if he goes for this right creep? Can.
Well, they've got the vision for it. Ooh, is he going to go for it though?
He may get blown up with this DD. Jab's going to run straight to them, and with the wall, they know that no one else is behind him. This is going to be huge. Kill break is out, and his health pool just evaporates. That's a gem as well. Double gem now for Gladiators. All right, straight rolling thunder.
Yep. Still pretty long cooldown on it. Max level, but another 60 seconds until it's up. But Primal Beast, of course, the big benefits of the hero. By the way, reach level 20 now, so even more damage coming through from the trample. Pulverize already back up, and like you mentioned, that double damage effective both for the kill as well as that tower taking potential. This time, they'll remember to glyph for the tier 2 towers, so this push won't immediately result in them moving up onto the high ground. But Talon will be able to take a little bit of control themselves too.
I know it is getting very scary with the potential of what this Phantom Assassin is going to be able to do inside the fights. That is one thing. I mean, Talon, do they have at the moment the heroes or even the built-in items to be able to deal with it? Maybe Scepter could be frustrated and kick him out. Actually, yeah, who does Q actually even, what's the play with the Scepter?
Against Rupture.
Okay, that's pretty easy, all right?
And, again, it's going to get to that point. And again, it's going to be even more effective if they aren't going to go for these Lotuses or these Lincolns, right? Where level 25 on Savage is going to result in even more carnage. It's still a fantastic Rupture game. All 3 cores, even the Coddle, to be honest, are vulnerable if they get caught out of place.
Oh, he's got the 8th
Might even be looking to prioritize him being the one to pick up this 35-minute Wisdom Rune as well.
See who's going to be able to get that one. Do have a bit of lull inside our second game here. GG should be able to get their own Tormentor, who's without the shard currently. Is Tofu.
It's like It is Savage that's going to be yoinking it up. As soon as they see the first movement speed start to come in, they're like, okay, they're doing Tormentor.
Instantly smoke as a result of that. Sunstrike, a little bit off the mark. This is a scary position to fight if they continue to angle to the right side, though. The choke point area should very much favor Gladiators to be able to get the backline and also play with that tombstone.
They know they're about to go for a smoke. They just grouped up under a watcher that they had under their control. So right now, Jabs just wants to shove out the wave, force someone to have to deal with this first. Tornado off the mark.
Oh, Makoto being on the front, worrying.
They can retreat. This would be huge.
Rupture's out as well.
Rupture up.
He's going to have to protect himself with the Arcanum shot. He's fallen pretty low, but meanwhile, Tarachi wants to jump in the middle. Ace is going to fall on pursuit as well. They're holding down Makoto momentarily. Tarachi with the burst damage. They'll deal with the Invoker. What's the call now from Gladiators? Can you look for more kills? This Q, he is isolated in no man's land as Talon can't enter Dai's side of the map. And another fight will go the way of Gladiators, and now they can look to get some more objectives.
Good God, that was good. Just wait out the rupture. Make sure that you, with your Satanic, is able to provide the safety. And like you said, they isolated Q. Q did the right thing. He wanted to get that Walrus kick off, make sure that he was able to burn out the rest of the Pangoliers HP pool. But instead, Celery drops the Tombstone onto Quinn, gets it inside the grab ally. Means that, like you said, Tusk completely away from the rest of the boys and ends up dying as a result. Really, really well done by Gaimin Gladiators. Full team fight coming through there. That was not any sort of individual play. That was a team understanding.
About to be Radiant's top rubble.
His top is getting shoved in, so it will be a response eventually out of Die to be able to go back for that. There's no way they run into Savage, right?
Really not.
Wait, hang on, are they thinking about fighting Q? Both not with the boys at the moment. Jirachi and BKB as well. Ice Blast will clip on the right side. It separates the Phantom Assassin, and there is that combo. Rupture kick. Health pool gets blown up. Gladiators will be able to retreat, so they only lose one. But of course, that is a big kill on Darachi, and Roche is up in 20 seconds. We'll see if Talon's able to scout it out straight away.
High risk, high reward. That's the Talon way. We saw that with the previous Roshan attempt. They weren't able to secure the Roche, but they still got the successful team fight off the back of it. Once again, who would imagine a team would be protecting a tier 1 tower at this point of the game? But I suppose it's really valuable, like you mentioned, with Roshan coming up in 3, 2, 1. It means that they're going to have, if buybacks are required, that additional tower to be able to TP too.
Second Roche of the game.
Oh no. Yep, they're all coming.
Do you give Aegis to Makoto? I'm very worried about how so vulnerable he is inside the fights, but I feel like there's a lot of other people as well can be blown up.
I'd give it to Bloodseeker personally. Okay. Like, he's almost at his level 25. Like, you can legitimately do like 40,000 damage in one team fight as this Bloodseeker. Probably more so when you're going up against like the really beefy heroes, like 3 builders.
That's third Roche, my bad. Okay.
So end up giving it to Makoto. Maybe just feeling like he's dying a bit too easily, but I'm still waiting for this level 25 on Bloodseeker. He's almost got the refresher orb completed as well, so you will have 4 ruptures coming out, and I'm just doing a quick Lincoln's check. Poku's nearly finished one up. He's about 50 gold away, but beyond that, I see nothing. 1 Lotus Orb, and Quinn just starting to work towards a Lincoln's of his own. So it really just is going to be that sort of, how are you best going to use this time? If I'm 23 Savage, I'm saying give me the farm. Stop taking my farm. Let me get to level 25. Stay close by, but not close enough that you're going to be leeching my XP.
Who would you prefer to have this refresher shot on? Because Jabs currently has it in the backpack.
Feels fine enough to me. I mean, just to be able to get off 2 bristleback actives is so enormous, right? It means that whoever gets caught out is dying, unless Celery has been pretty good with his positioning so far, but it just puts so much more emphasis onto him to be able to be in that right place at the right time. And lucky for him, he's got the ninja gear to be able to play around with. So he's got his own personal smoke. I'm sure he would love to get into something like a Blink Dagger as well on the Undying, just so that you can always be there with the save.
What's a gem account as well? I know Dai had 2 before. Looks like Coddle's still got 1. The other one's in the fountain as well. So Probably going to have to see Talon soon look to consider that. I mean, you really need these items. I mean, Ollie has had this executor for quite some time. Q would love the Aethelins to be able to enable that combo we saw prior to deal with Duraccio.
Savage is like, stop leeching my XP. I'm so close. Multiple times now that you've had one or two teammates relatively close by to him. He's isolated now, so he should get the level 25 off the back of this. But just imagine if Gaimin Gladiators were going for some sort of kill attempt right now onto that sort of area.
The rupture charges though finally, so let's see what the call is going to be. So I have plenty of time to work with the Ages. They do not have any deep vision to potentially look to smoke to. The ward's in fact still getting held.
I wouldn't even hate the refresher being given over to Q, to be honest, right? Like double Boris kick with whoever gets ruptured, that's pretty deadly.
Even just double punch, 3-second BKB pissing control, and someone like Duraccio inside the middle of the fight, and if Savage is able to right click him, that could just be enough. You are going to see them smoke.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
They are.
And is that connecting or not? It's like pinging every now and then, but
I think it did to start.
Yeah.
They're very split. They are very split. No way he shows.
Surely. Oh,
They're going to see the dagger. But they have no vision on the backline, though. They don't know that anyone else is not behind Duraccio, so it is still scary nonetheless.
Tower has fallen.
Literally, like, inches between being able to catch him out there. The blur, nerf, not enough to be able to lead to Duraccio's death there. Doing their best to be able to try and shove out a lot of these lanes, but I feel like Gaimin Gladiators realize the strength of the potential high ground fight. We talk about level 25s, well, you've also got it on Duraccio as well, so many more ways to be able to proc that coup de grace.
Play for the Wisdom Room.
Tower is under attack. Radiant top tower just
I don't know how he was able to get that. They might lose their mother as well. I mean, it's also a really big crew wave.
Does anyone else make that play other than Duraccio? I don't know if they do.
They're going to lose the other two? No way.
Have to see it. Nope. Yoink.
That's so much experience. All right.
They're kicking themselves a little bit. Yeah, instant ping out coming through. Another tormentor for themselves. Anyone lacking a shard right now? Looks like just Invoker. Not too bad, honestly. Just keeping people relatively close by to the Bristleback.
It's not a bad shot at all. So they're doing a very good job, though. I mean, Talon aren't really forcing the issue, though, on getting a fight.
They've only got 45 seconds on the Aegis. It's, again, one of these cases where it feels like Talon fights better from behind. You know, they want to be in this sort of disadvantageous position as it's like Tofu's even going to be able to get away from a Makoto gank attempt.
I still am just so worried. I do not care that this PA was nerfed slightly. Like this here late game, it is a different beast. I don't even care about his KDA as long as he's got the gold. He's got Satanic about to be complete. In fact, I think he just went. Yeah, he's bored out. Blessing for the scepter, and Satanic getting delivered as well. So Duraccio is ready to go.
He's so huge, man. And the thing is as well, you're going to have that slightly less duration on whatever lockdown that they've got. He's been very clever about this, the aesthetics cap. He knows that he just needs to be able to withstand during the rupture, right? It's still fantastic rupture game. I've said it about 50 times right now, but as long as you've got the Satanic to be able to heal up any of that damage dealt, you're not only ensuring your own survivability, you're nerfing a little bit of what the Bloodseeker is able to do, both in terms of movement speed and right clicks. It just feels like a really solid itemization coming out from Gaimin. And the thing that I'm worried about for Talon is that you've waited long enough that now you do have multiple Linked Spheres up.
I'm gonna try and force the issue. That is look to smooth. They don't have the greatest power room to play with. Or at least potentially help them try and deal with some of their lane issues. Are you going to take a fight around a high gun, though? You'll need to drop a ward. Seller could even use the tombstone for vision as well.
That's not quite with the boys. He's going for his own break. A Bristleback going break up against a PA.
Let's see the Watcher getting taken. No pings, though. Makoto almost running straight into them. It's a jump. Hopefully the start. They've got the vision advantage. Instant rolling thunder. And Quinn's going to try and hunt the backline. Second use of the rupture. Quinn's going to have to stand in the middle. Where's Q to be able to get the kick away up in? He's isolated from the team. It's all up to Duraccio now. The rupture's used. He should be free inside to fight. He's going to try and chase down the corner to the south. A quick disengage gets him out of danger. They're not done just yet though. Ace hunting for more, but Talon retreated to the safety of the high gun. Do they want to go in though?
such good team play coming out from Gaimin Gladiators, man, right? Like, you're going in, you're popping the Satanic, you're getting down to about 30%. Quinn able to heal up to a very, very healthy portion, and then the perfect timing from the grab ally. Not too early, not too late, making sure that if you were wanting to commit up onto that high ground, you're competing into zero vision, into a tombstone layer down at you, and by the time he pops out, you're playing alongside of a Keeper of the Light, right? So he's going to have another set of spells to be able to play around with too, with no ruptures left.
Archer's just ready for someone to step a little bit too far forward to blow him up. No one will give him that opportunity though, so they'll go back at the T2 tower.
A juicy one. Of course, this is the area that you always need to be a little bit concerned about going up against an Aghanim Scepter Tusk, going into high ground, and feels like that might be what Gaimin Gladiators are looking to play for next. Find another one of these pickoffs onto Q so that you're not going to have that risk of getting kicked back with a rupture underneath tier 4 towers.
Uh-oh. That is a scary rune. Scary rune, and they're going to be able to find it as well. So Duracho's bottom, so Quinn's probably going to take it. Roche potentially up in 15 seconds. They've got full control of this left outpost area. Did they lose the gem as well in that fight? No. Okay, Ollie's still holding it, and still a pipe dream of this Hex.
He's getting close. Billy coming in value. Even just his own level 18 would be pretty nice. Extra second on the Frostbitten, extra little bit of damage.
The probability is 50-50, dead even.
Yep, feels that way. It honestly feels like Gaimin need to mess up once, kind of like what we saw last time around, right? Like, these team fights haven't gone swimmingly for Talon. Like, it's just been really good play by Quinn and Celery in particular. They're just understanding of where exactly each other want to move, where each other needs to be, has been just on point.
Wait, this is a scary bridge to cross. Will lead the charge, wants to drop his own ward, which completely scouts Talon out. Duracho's going to be able to jump as well, but the bridge dead. Charges in a lot of danger. Refreshes his teleport, thanks to the cheese. Now Duracho down low, they blow him up. No Duracho for the team fight. Talon, you've got to get more. This is your one opportunity. We'll try and cross the bridge back to their side of the map. Ace wants to try and disrupt them, but the Tornado clips on 4. Duracho will fight back, but he's way too far away from the team. Ace is going to hold down Savage on the right side. Ace just sold with the Bloodseeker. Now there's a big opportunity. Gladiators will need to get more out of this. The investment out of the buybacks is costly. As Quinn should stop Makoto on the retreat. If they got protection, it looks like they do. Will try and TP out, but the rock throw will stop him short. As Gladiators somehow come out on top.
How did he do that much damage? I suppose maybe he had the Blood Mist running at the exact same time as the Blade Mail was being popped there by Ace, but literally 100-0 on that Bloodseeker. Crazy amount of damage done by him, and now he's level 25 as well, so got even longer duration there on the Pulverize. You're just going to be able to completely lock people out of the fight. They're going to go for a cheeky play once again, but GG, they're not phased. They're just going to finish this Roshan and get a refresher shard of their own.
So I guess the big thing is the fact that multiple really important buybacks were used. Of course, we're looking at the Duracho buyback. And Celery's is nice, but there is a win condition now. If you killed Duracho twice, this game looks very different.
Just kill him twice. It's easy.
Easy. I killed him once that time.
Once. That's the difference maker. And again, it's the scary prospect of going up onto the high ground. I want to see how much pressure they put up onto this high ground when they don't have the Bloodseeker, when they don't have the Invoker. And if Talon have the cojones to use this buyback, if he was able to get into a good position or kick back, they might be able to do it.
Well, they're looking for it. Maybe being able to blow him up 4-0. Celery again. And this tombstone save. And now you've just sacrificed Q's life. Bristle's in a little bit of trouble as well with the breakout. Ace sees an opportunity to be able to charge in the middle. Savage tries to do what he can, but it's not going to matter. Now Duracho senses an opportunity. Makoto with the tornado will disrupt. The combo's going to get laid down. Kick further inside the base. Gaimin Gladiators. What can you do on the respawn? You just sacrifice his life, Quinn. Or try and give an opportunity for the Phantom Strike, but the instant Hex is finally there. And now they're looking for more as well. Ace, kick back. This is the opportunity Talon have been waiting for. Ace will go down without a doubt. It's just a question of can they get more kills. As Savage will not be able to cancel Quinn's TP, but that is the dieback on Duracho. 100 seconds for Talon now.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, you had to use a couple of buybacks onto Jabs and Q. Well worth it. They were just wanting to wait things out, get that Satanic. Perfect use of the stun combination to make sure that you really didn't get too much value out of the PA. And you see the lines being drawn out by Savage. He is like, we are ending this game right now. We're not going to get a better opportunity. 50-minute creep wave, double siege creeps, and plenty of units to be able to soak up all of this multi-shots. If Talon choose, if Gaimin Gladiators choose to commit that glyph of protection. Obviously not wanting to do it for a tier 2, wouldn't be refreshed, but now's the time. Can they do it?
If anyone shows their much a jump again, you know there's no buyback from the Penguin. Quinn in the middle. Hang on, Bloodseeker, what is the damage on Savage? It's going to be really cautious, but we're going to just try and waste as much time. But again, if anyone's nearby, you may look for the opening with the kick. He's starting to run up.
Jabs is just soft jab a little bit. Why not?
He's in trouble now as well. Again.
Remember?
Oh my lord, these tombstones, but it is just space. One building down. What's the call from Talon?
Dire's middle barracks could use a friend.
Goal is to keep on going. They want to have this map advantage. They want to keep Gaimin Gladiators fighting on their side of the map. They don't want that instant pick off into a dieback, into the inability to be able to fight it. They know it's 20 seconds until the PA is a concern.
Jabs doesn't have the greatest mana pool for this fight.
So many enemies.
I don't think they want to take a fight at all. Yeah, they're going to clean up what is possible, and then they're going to get the hell out of there.
Look at the respect, man. Far out. Not give a opportunity. This is still just under 4 minutes where there is not a buyback for Duracho, and they have showcased they have the capability to be able to kill him inside these fights. And if you can somehow kite the primal, there does seem to be a potential damage issue.
All right, at least this time Makoto was there on the bottom side of the river, because there was another freaking double damage, but Invoker ends up picking it up this time.
Gladiators, dude. All right, let's see what Makoto can do.
Oh, jeez.
He
Still wants to keep alacritying himself. No vessel charges is a bit of a concern.
Buyback status as a whole this game. Savage and Makoto, the only ones on Talon. And Gladiators. Quinn's going to have enough gold in 80. And of course the Dino, he's got enough as well.
Going for another move. And they find the pick off even. Q's got a Octarine queued up. I understand it. Just wanting to get more Walrus kicks. I wouldn't hate seeing him go a Silver Edge as well.
It's a good ward.
Another way.
It's a really good ward. So it's going to pop. Good reaction.
So quick. Celery, I think, has been the MVP.
They're coming.
GG so far.
It's going to pop. Is in a really peculiar position where they can just blow up the support. A quick guaranteed kill onto an easy opportunity. Gives them a 4v5 and potentially more as well. As Q's got to go down. These are the heroes without buyback. Savage. He's not wrapped himself. He can beat Gaimin and TP, but you got to make a call pretty shortly. He's going to TP now. His ace disrupted the charge. Won't stop him, but now no one's there. No one is with Jabs. It's just Makoto as well. But the Invoker, he also needs to get out of danger. That is a disastrous team fight. The worst thing that could possibly happen is Savage is going to try and do whatever he can, but one crit jump over the top. The Archer will not let Savage get back to the base. And now they sense blood in the water. Makoto as well. You could not have had anything worse happen for Talon. And now as a result, Makoto, they'll catch up to him as well. Buybacks are used instantly. I guess at least the lanes are in an okay position, but my oh
You see
my.
exactly where they're going, right? Makoto goes bottom, Savage goes top. Try and shove out these lanes as quickly as you can. Love to be able to just drop that Mjolnir buff onto somebody, but you can't show yourself. This is ballsy, Savage. You got to get the hell out of there. But they might not even care. They've got the creeps. 3 is enough. They're just going to go up onto that high ground. Buyback's coming up shortly. 50 seconds until the AA. And a minute until the PA. So Duracho feels confident in being able to go for this all-in style push.
They got glitched, but it's a miracle hold. Gladiators one fight away of getting some revenge when Talon knocked them out of Riyadh. Let's see what the combo's going to be. Oh, it's not on the mark. You tried to set up with a tornado. Still going to go for the drone. Duracho might die to the Sunstrike. That's a big start. Makoto's putting in work in the defense. Ace will trying to enter Savage, but Cube keeps him right next to the dungeon. That is the damage they need to bring down the Primal Beast as well, and they have held. We are not done just yet. The Savage will also stop Celery from getting out of maybe Celery. Oh, cute, nice prediction. All right, he's able to catch up to Celery, so at least there will be a third member that does go down.
One of those members that did buy back previously, that's his dieback, even though it's up in another 5 or so seconds. But you could just see how anxious 23 Savage was there, not wanting to full on commit. He bought back himself, and he's going for a freaking E-Blade, man. He just wants that extra little bit of damage. They want 100 to 0 people with this Rupture Kick combination.
What is this game, dude? What is this game?
I'm happy that we're getting a close one.
Yes, today's been more one-sided, a lot of 2-0s. I don't know if this one's going to be 2-0 as well. Are they just... All right, let's see. What can you do, Talon?
With any time to buy out, this is it. I mean, Savage could look to get into start of the E-Blade pretty soon, but it won't change too much of anything. Second lane of racks going in their favor. So again, the lanes are passively just going to be helping them somewhat. It's just a matter of, can you afford to wait another 5 minutes? I don't think GG is going to give them that opportunity with Roshan potentially respawning right now. It's pretty quick, 45 seconds, and they'll know it's around the top side of the map. Are we getting them? Are we getting the tier 5 items?
We may be. Some big items, though, nonetheless. The Lincolns, late game Lincolns, 56 minutes in. Both Duracho and Ace wanting to go down this route. So this could be just something that catches them by surprise on Talon to mess up a little bit of the spell casting. Have to keep an eye on those Lincolns inside these fights. 4 Lincolns,
what
dude.
allowed Quinn to be, that's what I was saying before, right? If it gets super late, doesn't matter how many ruptures you have if you're just able to Lincoln them constantly. At least it's not the old meta, right? When it was a Medusa with like 4 different Lincoln's buffs on her, you actually need to have an element of skill of being able to pop them. Tofu really wants to be able to deward this Observer, and he's making sure it's Duracho is the one that does it to not give away too much about their smoke.
Accordingly, buybacks are there now. 2 members of Talon.
Not for Talon though.
Jabs is on the front line. They're going to try and poke at the booster back to start. Winding Line pushes him out of Ace's charge in the middle with an early BKB out of Jabs. It should be okay. Looks like that's all. Makoto's in.
Rolling Thunder's a big deal. Yeah, look at bottom.
Yeah.
It's pushing in. Someone's going to have to TP back. Do you have the shard on Coddle? You don't. So I want to see if we do see Tofu look to try and pick that one up just so that you can recall Quinn back to the fight if absolutely necessary. And they'll see first that Roshan is up.
I build out Savage is crazy. I know you brought up the Yasha and Kai before. He's got Timeless Relic.
Yep.
Very interesting.
All about that spell damage, man. Just let the Blood Raids, let the Shard and the Aghanim Scepter do the work.
There's the Shard, and as Quinn re-delivered once again, Gladiators, such a power position for them on this high ground with the ward. It is very difficult for Talon to be able to break that. They're just going to have to wait for the lanes to get pushed in. That's the main thing. So they will have to go back eventually.
They've got scouting tools, right? Like you can use the handball for it. They could use the Sunstrike for it. They can use the Forge Spirits for it. Lots of things, but you just got to be careful on Ollie in particular. Don't put yourself too far forward. Yep.
Patience, that's it.
Tower is under attack.
Glyph
From Zoe, it is the road to TI.
Dire's middle tower looks to be
I just want to see them
disintegrating.
keep the Forge Spirit inside the pit. They will.
All right, one person's back. Turachi will TP, of course, again, yes, with the Coddle.
They got the recall. And we've got 40 seconds until potential tier 5 items, so not the worst place for GG to be holding up here, up on the top side. Then again, it is going to be moving down bottom in about 30 seconds, right? And you have to be very careful about that if you're Talon, right? Like, if you TP down bottom to be able to contest this, yeah they're actually going to set up early. Not sending those Forge Spirits up onto the high ground, so they don't know about this. So if you TP down, they're already going to be there, and then if you buy back, you're not going to be able to TP there again. So they could once again look to isolate this Talon roster. They've been doing such a good job of it so far, despite not really having the tools to do it. Really nice Sunstrike coming out there from Makoto, predicting the fact that they were already down there. So instead, they TP down to their tier 3 tower, and they're just going to look to run it in. Still would mean that they won't have those buyback TPs. So it's going to be another one of these cat and mouse sort of games where can they just look to wait it out until their TPs are back off cooldown?
Ratio's not here currently. Supposed to try and scout and give them really much information. Ratio's trying to get these neutral items. One will be dropped now.
Aces as well.
Very short, okay.
Radiant are scanning for
The
enemies.
shadows from Savage.
Aeroshield's not bad for a freaking rupture.
Is Makoto just trying to see if Ratio is going to deal with this wave? I guess this is a nice thing where Talon can kind of intercept anyone looking to get to Gaimin Gladiators' position.
Yep, they're using the Forge Spirits for the vision around the pit, so they know they're not losing a big objective. Someone's going to have to deal with this, so it's just a question of how are they going to be able to respond to it. It's the siege creep wave as well, right? So someone needs to be addressing a lot of these super creeps that have pushed into the GG base, but being patient, they're just getting their tier 5 items, and now it looks like the recall back onto Duratio, and they're going to try and slip inside.
It just TP away though.
They know they're in. They know they're in, but you got recall, man. It's going to be up soon.
It's a Sunstrike to scout. A bit split at the moment from Talon's, not going to matter. Roche just getting poked.
All on Sky by Pango. I mean, it's just more time that you're invulnerable, right? Not going to be taking damage from that rupture, providing a little bit of that extra control that the PA needs.
Spoken about how the Talon have the capability with bottom and mid getting pushed out. You see the same as well with top. It's a big wave that Ollie has to go back to deal with. It's a catapult wave as well, so they don't want to give over this full set of barracks.
It's just an AA, so you can still have that big team fight impact from the base.
It is, but
Radiant's top barracks are under
Finally
attack.
found a little bit of isolation. No one's claimed that watch right
Pops,
now.
Quinn, he's not going to mess around. To Rolling Thunder. He's going to get to the back line. There's the Savage. He's in a lot of danger. Duratio's going to try and close the distance. Savage can get any lives still back. It's too late for Makoto spellcasting still. They won't get a return kill. Can Makoto slip out of the cover of the invis though? Ace has got the detection. Pulverize slams him into the ground. The buyback to the pivotal thing is already back in the middle thanks to Tofu's help. And they're getting more off the back of this though. Ace is going to try and get onto Jabs. They'll separate themselves. Two fights are breaking out simultaneously.
Up, man.
Jabs, uncontested so far, but he's not going to have the mana or the health shortly as well. As the breaks are proving too much of an issue. Look at the mid base of Makoto. He just got back to Makoto. This is an all or nothing play. Quinn's going to need some assistance as well. They'll get the TP in from Jabs. They're going in for the throne, man. Someone needs to respond.
It happened to them in Rehab with Liquid. They're trying to see if they can do it themselves.
But they're not going to have the numbers. Jabs is pretty goddamn survivable. Two fights again are happening to Ratio. He's not with the boys. There could be an opportunity to Ratio and Savage going toe to toe. We're going to push it down to the southern side. I mean, back to life, we see Jabs and Quinn. The BKB protects the Bristle back down to the south we go. Ice Blast connects when he's an opportunity for Savage. First Hex is out, and that's all they need. A dieback on Ratio. 2 minutes without your Phantom Assassin. Are you kidding me?
They didn't die on Talon as well. They were somehow able to get away on both Jabs and Makoto, get away with murder, forcing everyone away back to the base in Q, interrupting the TP return from Duratio as well. They're still having to be very careful about this, though. They're backing off. They're using the Book of Shadows just to try and give themselves a little bit of a reprieve against the likes of that PA whenever she tries to jump on them.
3v5, who cares?
Dire's middle tower
Gladiators
is under
have the
attack.
confidence charging at Talon. They do not want to let this Roche go.
Gotta care a little bit.
80 seconds still to get Roche and also go for the base. This is your best opportunity, Talon, to send us to a game 3.
Yeah, Makoto's about to get an Aghanim Scepter for himself as well, you would assume. Just getting himself that little bit of extra control.
Do they go for it?
Being one of the ones that bought back, he's the one to claim the Aegis of the Immortal.
Surely, right? 50 seconds?
60 seconds, yeah. Ollie not with them for now. Just once again looking to influence this top side of the map.
No way. Oh, no way. They're not going to go for the finishing blow, so we will stick around for a little bit longer. And Dai
Said it
has...
before, and I'll say it again. Late game Dota is where C really shines.
Dude, why is there a rapier on Oli? What am I looking at? What is this?
Attack from range, Ollie's do it.
It's all or nothing now. You're just gonna go for it. 25 seconds. Brings on to Makoto, BKB. They want to do with the tombstone. What's the call? Messi inside the team fight. There's a lot of damage from Ace. He's trying to control the backline, making space. The turret is now exposed. There's TALON. They're gonna go straight for the club killer, but the Stitching Desolator. This base is falling fast. Still Duracho down for 5 seconds, and it's gonna be 2-1. TALON will send us to a deciding game 3. And what fashion to do it in.
What a play from Makoto and Jabs. The balls on these men, and you can see